A Fistful of Lenses, the channel for real-world lens reviews. Enjoy! In this episode, we'll be looking at a legendary vintage lens, the Zeiss Jena flektogon 20mm f4. I will be reviewing the zebra version in an M42 mount. They're also available in EXA exacta mount. Why is this lens legendary? A couple of reasons. Carl Zeiss was one of the first companies to make a successful super wide angle lens for the 35mm format. In fact, it was so successful that the lens exhibits almost zero distortion, which makes the lens sought after to this day by architectural photographers. It was manufactured in East Germany from 1963 onwards and came in three main design phases. There was the original, the zebra version I have here, and the all-black multi-coated version. It has a 77mm filter thread, which is the same as many of my L-series Canon lenses, which I find very useful. It weighs 320 grams and has an incredible close focus ability of just 16 centimeters. I've taken a series of images with the Canon 5D Mark III and the Fuji X-T1, and these images are JPEGs straight out of the camera, as I want you to see the character of the lens, not my editing skills. So I hope to show this lens strengths and its weaknesses so you can decide if this lens is for you. So let's get started. So let's start with a few black and white images of a little underpass near the small village of Iflaisa in South Wales. The first two images are taken with the Canon 5D Mark III, and then we have the same scene taken with the Fuji X-T1. And here we have two black and white photos taken at the National Slate Museum near Llanberis in North Wales. Here you can see just how close this lens focuses, which can give you good subject separation at f4 and even at f11 as seen here. And if you love that soap bubble bokeh look, then you're gonna love this lens. I feel it's illustrated well here in the image of a foxglove, and use a hint of that zeiss swirl you can see in the background of this image. Something I like about the images produced by this lens is the low contrast vintage look you can get to your shots. And when controlled properly, the flares can add to the image, really emphasizing the fact you've taken this with a vintage lens. And the colours it delivers can be very gentle, restrained, with an almost subtle pastel quality to them. And when used correctly, it can produce a nice sharp image. Of course, it is a 60-plus-year-old lens design, and it does have its weaknesses. With that big front element, if you catch the light at the wrong angle, it can flare wildly, producing an almost psychedelic rainbow effect. So what are my conclusions about this legendary lens? Well, I can see why it has such a strong following. It produces lovely bubble bokeh. it can exhibit that zeiss swirl, and I love the pastel-like colours it produces straight out of camera, and that vintage feel it gives to your images. Of course, all of this is subjective and may not be to your taste, and the flares it produces, well, they can be nothing short of psychedelic on times. But you can't take it away from Zeiss. The engineers produced something special here. A super wide angle with zero distortion, 16cm close focus ability. So my conclusion, I love this lens and keep in mind for a while, and as it is a vintage lens, the price keeps rising, so it's a bit of an investment. So I'm looking forward to taking more pictures with my Carl Zeiss Jena flektogon 20mm f4, and who knows, you might see me out there snapping away happily in the real world. Bye for now.